Imagine for a moment you have a real-world shop. People visit and then at some point leave. Wouldn't it be great if you stay present in their mind when they're not there? And get sales in the future too. Well, with Google AdWords, you have a way to reconnect with people who've visited your website, and it's called remarketing. By appropriately targeting people who've already visited your site, you'll gain a huge advantage, potentially converting people into action, giving you more leads and hopefully more sales. The first thing to consider is, who do you want to show ads to? It may be to people who have looked at a product page or to people who have reached a stage in the buying process but not completed. Jim Banks, Master AdWords Fellow, says it's best to look at focusing on visitors, even though you could use remarketing functionality to go broader. There are a couple of ways to approach this. One is in Google Analytics and one straight in AdWords. This is a good point to look at setting up your funnels in Google Analytics, as that will give you insight into at what point you could remarket to people. For instance, you may decide to remarket to people who visited 3 pages on your website and stayed over 5 minutes. If you're interested, the lynda.com library has more courses on Google Analytics, so do check them out if you want to take this further. In order to set up a new audience, go to Admin and then scroll down to Audience Definitions and choose Audiences. From here, click New Audience, and then once you've chosen the destination account, click Next Step, and you can then define the audience. For this example, I'm going to choose New Users. The next step is going to require you to have linked your Google AdWords account to your analytics, so let's now step across into the AdWords dashboard. Now you're in AdWords, you're going to create a new campaign. Click to add a campaign, and then choose Display Network. Before naming the campaign, and we'll call this one AdWordsLynda.com, and we'd want to drive action on the website. We're going to choose Buy on Website Includes Remarketing. Once we've checked that option, scroll down, and we're going to load the existing settings, but realize you can adjust these to suit your needs, and we're going to have to set a budget before we save. Next, you can be taken to this page where you can give the ad group a name and choose your bid, and most importantly, click Interest in Remarketing to bring up this box. From here, click and select a category of remarketing lists, and then in this case, I'm going to scroll down and find New Users before selecting that. Here you can see the number of new users and the potential number of impressions as well. And if I scroll down further, I can decide, for instance, to narrow the targeting and choose certain demographics or uncheck the boxes. Then, when I'm ready, I'll save and continue. And now we're on the Display Network page where you get to produce the ads. You can let Google display the ad ideas for you, or you can create your own ads. And they could be text-based or images. Let me jump across to a client account and show you some examples. We're now looking at Grade.us and how they're using the Display Network. As you can see, on the left-hand side, we have a series of images. And I'd like to give you some tips as to what we're finding that works. The first thing to make sure is that you're tracking conversions. As if you're not tracking, then you're not going to know what's working. But as long as you are, then you'll start to see the data building up in that column. You may well find that bright colors and a message that resonates with the audience will lead to radically different performance to one that doesn't. And also, one tip that I think is really worth pointing out is this last column, View Through Conversions. Even though the ads themselves are getting conversions, in other words, people are clicking and performing an action on the site, such as downloading a PDF, there's also View Through Conversions, which means that even though people didn't take that action from the ad, they still saw the ad and in the future did take an action on the site. This can radically increase the numbers, as you can see. Next, let's come across to Display Network. You'll see there's many options from summary to display keywords, placements, topics, but it's interest and remarketing I want to show you. Here, you'll see, again, more information on what is working. And check out that conversions column, and in particular, as I say, the one on the right. Now, if you find that you're not seeing any columns, then come to columns, click the drop down and then go in to modify your columns to bring up that extra data. It's very cool that Google now allows you to upload customer email lists into AdWords as well, which means you can message people who've opted into your newsletter. These are perfect to market to as they're already warm to your business. Whichever way you decide, know this. Remarketing is a huge area and is now essential as part of your AdWords mix. It allows you to reconnect with people across the web that you've already had some connection with through your business. The main thing to look at is this though. Think about your strategy first. In other words, what goals are you trying to achieve? Then return to remarketing as one of the tactics you can use to achieve more of them. Get yourself a spreadsheet and begin to consider which pages or pathways on your website would you most like to follow up on first.